Hi, I'm Lauren with iHeartSpeech. Have you been to a farmer's market or to the produce department of your grocery store? Or maybe you had a really amazing harvest from your garden? I'm going to show you how to take the abundance that you have and work on your child's language skills. Okay, so for babies and toddlers, what you're really trying to do is just build background knowledge, the things that they will think back to when they're older. And so you want to stimulate the senses and you want to give them the words. So clearly the babies and the toddlers aren't talking a lot, but they can definitely work on their receptive or their understanding language. And so you're going to work on vocabulary, and you're going to just name the things that you pick up, and you're going to talk about an orange and you're going to smell it. And when they smell really good, you can talk about the different smells and have them smell it. Now, of course, you're going to want to be careful when you have spicy things, but you can definitely show them and say poblano pepper or whatever. If the vegetables and fruits are clean and they're eating, then you can let them taste it while you're talking about the blueberry. You can be like, let's eat them, and you can share them right then. But my favorite thing to do is to pick up and smell produce. And things that smell really good are peaches and pineapples. I think pineapples smell amazing. And so you're really going to be working on giving them experiences with these things while you're building their vocabulary. So your focus is on vocabulary. All right, so with 2-year-olds, I have to say this is one of my favorite ages because they're really beginning to put words together and realize the power of language and the power of their words. And so one of my favorite words to teach is the word open. And so there's so many things that can be opened, from boxes that have treasures, like they don't know what's in here, and if you make it like it's this mystery, like we're going to open the box and find out what's in there, they're going to be excited. And so you have them say open, or teach the word open in order to open the box. And so let's do it. Let's say open, and then we open the box, and then maybe we open and we open the box, and then, oh my goodness, there are so many amazing things in this box that we just got from our co-op, or maybe I have it in a brown bag instead of a box. But the idea is that you're opening it and it is something secret, and it's exciting because language is exciting and things are exciting, and we want to put those together so that they want to use their words. And so they're going to open, and then you're going to show them. And another great word is the word look. And so you can say, oh, look, there's blueberries, and then talk about the blueberries. And you can still use all of the vocabulary and background knowledge that we were talking about before with a 2-year-old, because they still need to build their vocabulary. So look, blueberries. Ooh, look is rotten. So talking about that, and it's going to teach them the skills so that later when they have an object that they want to show you, instead of just holding it up to you and not saying anything, they're using their words. You've taught them the word look, and then you can say, oh, look at that carrot. That carrot is huge. Look at the carrot. And then you can show them and let them touch it and let them see it, and of course smell it, because things have such great smells. That one actually smells like dirt, which is awesome. And then when you have things that can also be opened, you can say, look, it's corn. Now let's open it. Let me hear you say it. Open, and then you slowly open the corn to see what's inside. And then, I mean, this is a mystery. Like, how can something so green and ugly on the outside be so amazing and beautiful on the inside? And then you're like, look, it's yellow, it's corn. And then you can talk about that. The other thing you can do with 2-year-olds, besides open and look, which of course are super awesome words, is you can work on very simple prepositional phrases. So I did not buy the blueberries inside a glass bowl. I put them in there. And so what you could do is you have that little carton that they're in, and then you open it, and then you can put them in the bowl. And so 2-year-olds need to be really using 2 and 3 word phrases. And so you can say in the bowl, in the bowl. And then if you need to wash something, you can have them put it in the container, in the colander. And so you can say, where do we put it? And they can say in the bowl or in the colander. And so the things you're taking out, you can then put in. And then, look, they're getting away from me. Radishes. So where should we put them? Let's put them in the bowl. So, and then we can put them in the sink and we can wash them, and then we can put them in the refrigerator. So lots of practice. And oh, I think it's snack time. I am going to open my banana. Open. And now I am ready to eat. Put it in my mouth. Now with 3-year-olds, you really want to be working on colors, but not just naming colors like orange or green. They need to be adding the colors to other words. And so the color word is an adjective that describes the green lime or the red tomato. And you have a really awesome opportunity to find things that are a little bit more unusual at a farmer's market or at your produce area of your grocery store, because here I have a beautiful red tomato, but then here I have an orange tomato, and you can talk about the differences. You have brown potatoes and purple eggplant. So you can find things that are unusually colored, but then you can talk about the colors that the objects usually are. Shapes are really good too. We can have ovals, and you can use the word like round. Adjectives like skinny or long or short and fat. I mean, we found these little teeny tiny potatoes and then a big potato. And so talking about the differences in the sizes as well, and just getting your hands on them and exploring them is what you can do with a 3-year-old. 4-year-olds can really start to work on more of the what seem like academic skills, like counting and sound identification. But really, I would work on number identification. And so you can say, how many bananas did we get? And we can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bananas in this bunch. And exposing them to words like bunch is really good. And then you can do bigger things like, oh my goodness, how many radishes did we get? And work on counting lots and lots of radishes. So your good counters can be stretched to count where you have lots of little things. And then your beginning counters can count things that are a little bit less, like how many onions did we get? We got 2 onions. The other thing you can do with number concepts is you can ask them to give you a certain number. So if all of the radishes, we just lost 1, all of the radishes are by your child, you can say, give me 3 radishes or give me 2 radishes. And so this could be while you're putting them into your colander. And so, you have to do these things in sets. So give me 3 radishes, and then they put the radishes in your hand. And then when they get to the right number, you can put them in. But to see if they really know the number concept, what I like to do is I like to leave my hands out. So they do 1, 2, 3. And then I looking around, doing other things. Well, that when they say, hey, Mom, I gave you 3, you're like, oh, you did give me 3. 1, 2, 3. But what sometimes happens if they don't have a good knowledge of number concepts is they'll give you a few, and then your hands are out, so they're like, oh, that must not be enough. So then they keep adding, and then you're like, oh wait, that's too many, I don't want 5. Let's count 3 radishes. 1, 2, 3 radishes. And then you put them in your bowl, and then you can try again. And luckily, the bag of radishes has a lot of radishes in it, or maybe even those teeny tiny potatoes from before. You can count those out as well. And sometimes do 1, sometimes do 2, sometimes do 3, kind of mix it up once you're, working on those skills. All right, with 5-year-olds, now you're getting into more expressive language skills. They still need to work on their comprehension, like understanding how to answer questions. So when I ask a where question, they tell me a place, or a when question, they tell me a time. But this is an age where they're really beginning to take lots of different thoughts and put them together into good, full sentences. And so I like to work on telling stories of things that have already happened. And so maybe they went with you to the produce department and they picked up the corn with you and they put it in the bag or basket that you did, and you can say, let's talk about how we got this corn. And so you could say, we went to the grocery store, we got the corn in our basket, and then we brought it home. And so I like to work on 3, sometimes 4 steps in a row that get us to where we are now. So you can talk about the banana. We just ate a banana as a snack and it was very delicious. Let's talk about how that happened. So we picked a banana, we peeled a banana, and then we ate a banana. And working on getting those steps in the right order and using the words that describe what's happening at each step is a really great skill to work on with your 5-year-old. As your children get a little bit older, and let's say they're 6 or probably even 7, you can work on the sequencing skills. But instead of talking about sequences that have happened in the past, like how did we eat that banana, now we can talk about sequences for the future. And they're going to be working on the future tense vocabulary or language concept, but they can also be planning in the future. So we have, oh my goodness, a gigantic zucchini here. What will we do with this? And we're going to have this for dinner tonight. So what do we need to do? So at dinner time, we will wash it, and then we will cut it, and then we will cook it, and then we will eat it. And so working on planning out what we will do with it is a good way to work on the future tense verbs, but then also work on problem solving. Okay, well, how will we work? How will we cut the zucchini? Well, we need a cutting board and a knife. And so let's add that to our story as we're making our plans for dinner tonight. We will wash the zucchini and then we will cut it on the cutting board with our knife, and maybe Mom does that. And then we will put it on a baking sheet and bake it in the oven and have zucchini fries. Or maybe we'll do something totally different and we'll make zucchini bread. Well, that doesn't use a knife, that uses our cheese grater, and so we need to get out the cheese grater. And so problem solving through well, what if we decide not to make zucchini fries? What else could we do? And so some what if questions and problem solving through the different things that pop up that help you plan. So, all right, those are lots of exciting things that you can do with all of this yummy produce. Another thing that I think you could do is build in at any age your own personal stories that get you talking about the produce. Like you could say, oh, I remember every summer my grandmother used to get lemons at her farmer's market and we used to make the most amazing lemonade. Or you can even talk about things that you have done with your own children. Do you remember last week when we got that funny cucumber? As you're, slicing up your cucumber for today. But bringing in those old stories helps them develop background knowledge. There's so many books about produce as well. William and I like to read one called The Enormous Carrot, and that reminds me of our gigantic carrots that we got. So maybe while we're washing and eating these, he and I will go over the enormous carrot and talk about what happened in that story, and we can sequence that story as we're talking and munching on this, although I don't know how we're going to munch on that. Maybe I'll have to cut it. Maybe you have elementary aged kiddos at your house. One of the things that you can do is find the little stickers that come with them. They frequently tell you where they were grown or where they came from, and then you can find those locations on a map. We have a map in our dining room, and one side is the United States and the other side is the world, and so you can find where is Mexico or where is Guatemala or wherever your fruits and vegetables come from. Now sometimes from the farmers markets they don't have stickers on them, but lots of times they do, and so you can find out where your produce comes from. You can also do some science, like why is this a vegetable and why is this a fruit? So you can talk about the science behind those things. And then also you could do some art with this. You could make your own little still life and have your children try drawing it using all sorts of different art materials. So there's so much you can do with produce. Thanks for watching. I can't wait to hear about the awesome things that you talk about with your child using beautiful and amazing produce. You can get more ideas over at my blog, iHeartSpeech.com. I'll see you there.